have a habit of being too honest for my own good, and this video might be an example of that. Hello everyone, welcome back to my doll collecting channel. Today I'm going to be talking about jealousy in the doll collection community. What is it? What are some signs of jealousy? And how do we deal with feelings of jealousy and inadequacy as a doll collector? Jealousy. It's something I think we've all experienced. And the reason I'm making this video is because I noticed I was starting to become jealous when videos of people unboxing the new Girl of the Year for 2024, Leila Monetti, started to come out. I became very jealous. At first I thought it was just me, but then after spending some time on Instagram, I realized that I probably wasn't the only one. The only difference is that I'm admitting it publicly on the internet, which I don't know if it's the best idea. A lot of you appreciate my honesty when it comes to my channel, so even though nobody is talking about this, I thought I should talk about it because this video might help somebody, or maybe we should have this uncomfortable conversation in the doll collecting community. The thing I want to talk about with jealousy is that jealousy happens so fast. Oftentimes when we see a post on Instagram or on a video on YouTube, sometimes our first thought is,
they're such a show off.
Or calm down, it's just dolls. And I've seen people comment this, and I will admit, sometimes I have thought this as my first initial thought before I actively try to correct myself. So that appears to be our first thought is, oh my God, why are they like this? When really our first thought is, oh, I wish that was me, or I wish I had those dolls. But our brain works so quickly because our brain, I bet it's human psychology. I mean, I didn't study psychology or anything like that, but I studied anthropology, so I studied the evolution of humans. So there's got to be some evolutionary advantage to this way of thinking, that your brain doesn't want to admit any negative traits, so it puts those negative traits onto somebody else. So we're feeling insecure that our collection might feel like our collection isn't good enough. And then we take that out on the other person because we don't want to deal with our own feelings of inadequacy. So it comes off as jealous. And most people don't even consciously think about it. They truly believe that the fault is on the other person that they're jealous of. They don't even realize it's within them. One thing that I find myself getting jealous about a lot is AGTube. AGTube, or American Girl YouTube, if you're not familiar, is anyone who posts American Girl content on YouTube. And AGTube is such a creative community, and I am blown away every day I log into YouTube and I see the creative videos that everyone is creating on a daily basis. And the amount of times that I think to myself, why didn't I think about that? Or I wish I could do that. For example, I don't live close to an American Girl store. The closest store is like 16 hours away or something like that. So I get jealous sometimes of people going to the American Girl store every time there's a new release because I physically can't do that, and it makes me sad. And recently, the amount of times I've thought to myself, man, my videos suck, is a lot. I try telling myself it's because I just recently went back to school and I went back to university and I'm currently working, and that takes up a lot of my time. And even though I'm an extremely passionate person about YouTube and dolls and TikTok and Instagram, I just physically don't have the time or the energy to post as much as I want to. I often feel like my channel is like a garden and I've planted too many things and I can't take care of it all because it's growing way too fast, and I don't physically have enough time to go out into the garden and harvest everything or plant new things or just keep on top of it. That's the best analogy I can give when it comes to my YouTube channel right now, which makes me really sad. If I had my way and if everything was the way I wanted to be, I'd be posting 3 super original high quality videos a week, and I would be posting films for every major holiday, and the cinematography would be beautiful, the dialogue would be great. I would have these beautiful short films because I love the idea of filmmaking, and I had so much fun filming my short film from a few years ago, Murray Grace and the Mystery of the Toy Thief. I really want to create another one for this Christmas, and I wanted to create one last Christmas, a sequel, but I just physically don't have the time to write a script and then film everything. This is super personal, and I feel like I really opened up there about some insecurities that I had, but I'm hoping at least if one person relates to it, then it's worth it. If I can help one person by sharing my story and being really personal about my insecurities and what causes me to be jealous, maybe you can apply it to your own feelings and insecurities as a doll collector, or possibly if you do YouTube or Instagram or TikTok or any other doll social media thing, that you can understand that these feelings that you might have are completely normal, and at least one other person on the internet is going through what you're going through if you related to the story that I just shared. My point is that jealousy comes from insecurity. Because of my insecurity about the lack of time I can dedicate to my YouTube channel, my subconscious takes it out on other people. And even if I don't comment, or even if these people have no idea that I'm having these feelings, the only person that it affects is me. Jealousy is like holding a hot stone or a hot coal and expecting the other person to get burned. Now, yes, I know that that phrase actually means anger is holding a hot stone and expecting the other person to get burned, but I feel like it applies if you put jealousy in that equation as well. When you see someone buy all the new American Girl Disney collector dolls in one go, your first thought might be,
show off.
but you know who that hurts? You.
Not me, not Hermione, you.
Get it? It's a little Harry Potter joke with in the Philosopher's Stone with the chess scene. I would include the clip here, but I don't want to get copyright striked, so. And let's talk about something that also muddies the water when it comes to doll collecting. Credit cards. It can make it seem like people have all these great and amazing things and all this money and all this stuff when they don't. Well, they physically have the stuff, but they're paying so much more for it later. This leads into my next point, which is personally, I don't use credit cards. I've never used credit cards. I don't believe in credit cards. And it's because I follow Dave Ramsey, which I have talked about on this channel before. However, if you use credit cards, we can still be friends. I get it. Life is hard. The amount of times I've thought to myself, how are we expecting people to live and pay for everything? It's kind of insane, and I hope something changes soon. I don't know how, but I hope the economy or whatever I can blame this on sorts itself out. Now, if you see someone in their early 20s, and I'm in my early 20s, I'm 23 years old, so I'm not just picking on people in their early 20s, I am in my early 20s, but if you see someone who's in their early 20s and they buy 100 American Girl dolls in a year, chances are they're using a credit card. Now, sure, their parents could, you know, be the president or something like that. Or they could be a self-made millionaire. Or they could have a credit card. You could be 20 years old and go to the bank and get a credit card for like $20,000 at a 22% interest rate. Or, you know, credit cards are a little bit more difficult, but student loans. That's another example. Somebody could be using their student loans to buy a whole bunch of dolls. And student loans, you could get a lot of money for that. Like, you could get like tens of thousands of dollars for a student loan. And I've heard of people, more so in the United States than it is in Canada, but most people who watch these videos are in the United States. I saw a story of someone said that they wanted a $2,000 student loan and they got approved for a $40,000 loan. Like, you could, if you're not careful, the bank can give you a lot of money, but you have to pay that back with interest, and the interest is brutal. My point is that this addition of the credit card makes everything misleading. Not necessarily, now that I think about it, not necessarily with doll collecting, but with everything. You know, people buying designer goods or people having these big houses. Well, that's not a credit card. That's a mortgage. But anyways, just because somebody has something physical in their possession doesn't mean they made that money to buy it. The point is that everything is misleading. And I feel like my channel is sometimes misleading because let's say you're new to my channel, maybe this is the first video you're watching of my channel, you see all these dolls behind me, and I do have more dolls lying around and in boxes right now, which is kind of unfortunate. But anyways, you see this, you see these dolls, and you know that American Girls cost a certain amount of dollars, and then you start doing the mental math, being like 1, 2, 3, you know, maybe you're doing that, and you're just being like, wow, that's a lot of money. But I want to say to you, I'm like, this one I got from the thrift store. This one I got for $30 off of eBay. And I feel like I have to explain that to people, that you can find these dolls for fairly affordable prices. I always say, like, if you just want an American Girl doll, and it doesn't matter who it is and doesn't matter the character, you can find one for $20, $30 on eBay. But to someone new clicking my channel, they're gonna see all these dolls and not know all the details. Some of you who have watched several of my videos would know those details, but somebody who, let's say, just watches one of my videos and watches something else, they wouldn't know the details. So it's very misleading. And if they're just hopping from different videos, you're gonna see all these people's collections and not know the details. The amount of times I've worried that I might be promoting overconsumption is a lot. Even though I say my videos are for collectors of all ages and anyone is welcome here, I feel like this pressure to be a good role model for kid and teen and young adult collectors. Even though I make a lot of jokes on my YouTube and my TikTok, I generally want my channel to do more good than harm, and I want people to walk away feeling happy and inspired and not defeated and like they aren't good enough. And sometimes I wonder, when having a big collection, is that sending people mixed messages? Now, I know this video is not going to help everyone. Some will probably have a problem with something I have said in this video or how I phrased something. It wouldn't have evolved if it didn't give us some evolutionary advantage. And I wrote, it wouldn't have evolved if it didn't have some evolutionary impact on us hummus. I was supposed to spell humans, but I spelt hummus. Instead of feeling jealous and getting mad at the other person, stop, take a breath, and say something like, I am enough. I'm grateful for where I am, and I hope to have that one day. My main points are, you don't have the whole story. Also, take ownership for your feelings and don't take it out on other people. Hopefully that was some advice about how to deal with jealousy, and hopefully my story sharing with the feelings of inadequacy that I have as a doll collector can help you and help at least if you walk away with this video feeling like you're not the only one who experiences these feelings of jealousy and inadequacy. You're not alone, and I feel like everyone, even if they don't admit it to themselves, has feelings of jealousy and inadequacy at some point. And that's what makes us humans. We're not just happy-go-lucky all the time, or it's not like we're perfect all the time. Like, we make mistakes and we're not perfect, and it's important not to beat yourself up about this stuff because it's natural, it happens. If you want to see more doll collecting videos, make sure to hit subscribe. I also have an advice for doll collectors playlist on my channel. I'll have that linked in the description box below too if you want to see more videos on advice about dealing with online hate as a doll collector and things like that. Make sure to check out that playlist. Also, make sure to follow my Instagram and my TikTok for more doll content over there. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.